Beautiful, beautiful. So we'll get going. This is actually a pretty big release that we had last night. So there's a lot of functions and features to cover. So I'll try to go as fast as possible, and I'll come back to you guys if you have any questions at the end of after covering all the details. So first of all, welcome to today's webinar. We're going to go over the features that we released in the release that we had last night. This is our August release. We're very excited about it. Lots of good features and exciting features that I'm sure you guys will love no matter what industry you're from. We have actually people in the room from multiple industries today, from martial arts, yoga, dance, Pilates, music schools, and also some people from our Parks and Rec departments for 3 different cities. So exciting to actually get different groups of people all serving the health and wellness sector and being, assisting in doing our best to be able to improve the communities we're in. So thank you for all that, and let's start the webinar. So the first item on our list is round up and round down for actually transactions. So for those of you who are in Canada, this is a common, this is something that you're already aware of. In Canada, we've actually retired the penny, so we actually don't have 1 cents or pennies anymore in the currency. So in result of that, we actually have to now round up or round down transactions. Meaning that if you have a transaction for $2 and let's say 3 cents, it'll go up to 5 cents, and if you have a transaction for $2.02, it'll round down to even $2. So this is a function that we have. You have an ability to access it by going to the setting menu, clicking on billing, and choosing cash rounding option. The option can be enabled or disabled, and you can say what is the smallest denomination that you accept. In Canada, it would be 5 cents. I know in some other countries, basically this is becoming a norm as well. United States will follow suit very soon, actually. So it's a good feature for you to have that. Number 2 on my list is we have the smart dashboard. This is a function that you guys are already aware of, and I know a lot of you guys love it and use it in day-to-day basis. Having said that, one thing that has come up often is being able to have more control over the permissions of the dashboard. Some of you are sharing this dashboard with your staff, and you perhaps don't want actually information such as the financial performance to be displayed for them. So this is very easy to actually manage. We've created a new permission settings. For those of you who are more advanced within PerfectMind, you can access this by going to the Smart Client version of PerfectMind, clicking on Setup, clicking on Company Setup, Securities, and Profiles, and then click from the profile of your choice, let's say employees, front desk, whatever profiles you have. We now have a new section for dashboard permissions, which you can allow export or disallow export, allow seeing financial information, marketing information, or member and student retention. And lastly, do you want to even allow your staff to see the dashboard or not? Now, I know this is for more of an advanced site for those of you who are not familiar with the Smart Client version or don't have access to it. However, want to make a quick change, if you contact our support team, we'll be more than happy to help you out with that. All right, so the next item on our list is scanning stations. So this is a function that I'll just talk about it more. It's basically an ability for you to introduce different stations in your organization and have each scanner act as its own and have different logics. For example, you could have scanners that basically only provide access and do not create attendance records. This is good for those of you who have gates and gate controls in the business. We actually now support what we call the gates or any type of automated doors. So in case that someone scans a card, the system can check if they have any upcoming appointments or they have an active membership, and it can activate to open the gate. For those of you who are in the fitness side, I know this comes up very often, so this is something that we can support as of today. So just definitely something to take into consideration. All right, moving onwards, we do have an enhancement to our email application. I know many of you guys have requested and have provided feedback of how you can actually improve the delivery of your emails within PerfectMind. Well, we've listened and we tried to actually do our best to be able to create a system for you to be able to actually manage the emails and the basic performance of emails. So one thing for those of you who have been using the email application, as you knew, whenever you created an email account within PerfectMind, the emails actually went from communication@perfectmind.com on behalf of your email address and your company. So we use a technology called Alias. Now we knew that with the improving in technology and enhancements in spam folders, we want to actually take that to the next level and be able to provide you the ability to directly send emails from your own email account. Now, it's not as simple as just allowing you to send emails from your email account, because if you actually do that, if you have a Gmail account or if you have just a domain name under your website, or sorry, email address under your domain name, when you send an email to a mass list, so a bulk list, let's say hundreds or thousands of people, it's still very likely that your email is not going to be delivered. The reason behind that is because your domain does not have the proper reputation to be able to satisfy the spam filters that are out there. So as of this release, we allow the ability for you to mask your email address, however, use our IP addresses in our servers. So what this does, it actually does two great things, and so it's best of both worlds. Number one, it allows your members to recognize your email address by seeing your email address only and lack of any word from communication@perfectmind.com. And number two, it will actually allow you to be able to utilize the history and reputation that our IP has, so you can get a better success in delivering emails. Our company and our IP addresses and servers do send out millions of emails on an annual basis. So we have been able to actually gain quite a bit of a reputation and improve reputations when it comes to delivering the emails. So how are you going to actually manage that? It's very simple. As you are already familiar, when you come into the email section under settings, you're able to actually introduce your own SMTP accounts. What you're able to do now, you're able to actually, from the section where it says from emails, you're able to add a new from emails. So just an example here, I'm going to use. And by choosing now the new email account that you've created, you're able to actually follow certain instructions. You can click on the button send verification email, where basically what it does, it emails you instructions on how you can actually verify your email. There are a few steps involved. For those of you who are hosting your emails through ChampionsWay and PerfectMind, we'll be taking care of those steps for you. For those of you who are not hosting your emails with PerfectMind or ChampionsWay, there will be instructions for your IT team, or the team who's assisting you with all the technical items of how they can actually configure the emails for it to work properly. There is a very detailed instructions in our help section in regards to how you go about this process. I'm not going to go over more of the details, but you're able to either see the details when it's emailed to you or access them via the help menu. Okay, so the next item on my list is just a change on how we did the memberships. So the memberships, this is a section that I'm sure everyone in this room is very familiar with. It's one of the most utilized functionalities within PerfectMind, and that's in membership management. As we do hear your feedback, and we want to always improve your experience with PerfectMind and how you utilize, especially the main functions such as memberships and also attendance. So what we wanted to do is to take the memberships to the next level. As you know, when you're creating a membership, you have options to be able to choose between unlimited ongoing, limited by time, limited by class, or limited by time and class. So any of these four options, which are not new options, you've had this for a while. What we've done when you're actually creating the emails, and what's new, is actually an ability for you to now determine the auto renewal section. So let me just go into an existing membership that I've created. So let's say the 6-month membership. So as you see, now we have a new section called auto renewal. What the auto renewal section allows you to do is to be able to set criteria of how this session should be, or this membership should be renewed. There are two options. You can either renew it into a limited term again. So if basically this membership goes for 180 days, you can renew it for another 180 days, and you can actually change the amount that the renewal is for. So the second membership could technically become cheaper or more expensive than the original one. Number two, the other option that basically I'm a big fan of is renewing into an ongoing membership. So imagine that you have a 12-month membership. What you can do, you can have the system to automatically renew that 12-month membership into month-to-month after the term ends. Do note, when you do choose the ongoing, the renewed total would be the monthly amount. So you would want to put what you expect to charge in a monthly basis. So in this specific example that we're in, each payment was $100. So maybe we want to just renew it to $100 per month in a month-to-month basis after the membership ends. Okay, so we're going to move into a couple other things, and then we're going to go into the calendar, which we've made a lot of changes to. So the next item that I want to cover is managing products. So we've actually went ahead and added new options under your manage product section, because we now support multiple types of products. So as you can see here, we have options for gift cards, which you are already familiar with. So gift cards gives you the ability to buy an amount, or have the customer buy a certain predefined amount and be able to utilize that as a payment method for future. So they can pass it to their friend, or they can pass it to family members, which they can come in and utilize that as a payment method. There will be a balance left on the card that they can use for multiple transactions. We have inventory items, so any items such as t-shirts, such as gloves, such as uniforms, so anything that you do sell that has a quantity attached to it. So there is essentially 10 of those items or 5 of those items. We have two new options now. One is called non-inventory items. So as you see, I have a couple of examples, such as locker rental or towel rental or drop-in fees. So really any type of actually item that you want to sell that doesn't have a quantity attached to it. I know many of you guys have a lot of services that you do sell that you want to just sell through the POS system, but you don't want to actually have an quantity attached to it as available quantity left, and things like that to show up in your purchase orders or items like that. So we do have now a non-inventory item, and also we have an option called tickets. Tickets will grant access to the person who purchased a ticket to your facilities for X amount of essentially passes or X amount of scans. So we're going to go over how these items are set up and what they're different from. So you are still able to click on the new button to be able to create a new item. Again, you have the options that I've just described. So let's start from non-inventory item. Really nothing here is different than what we had before. All the items here is the same. The only difference is now we can report on them differently of what are the non-inventory items and what are the inventory items. And the system does not produce you errors in terms of available quantities and whatnot. With the ticket option, everything again is still the same. The only difference is a new field called number of scans. So what this means is you are able to actually have a ticket, say that this ticket is able to be printed and scanned, to be able to be scanned twice or one time. So after the first time that the scan happens, the system does not allow any other scanning. So it will issue a warning if the person tries to, or if your student tries to scan them multiple times. So let's go into basically just an example of creating a ticket. So ticket example, I'm just going to put it ticket $10. I want to show you guys how this works now in terms of the checkout. So because there's one additional step now. So I've added an item, as you see, very simple for me to add it. Obviously, I could have included more information, such as description, such as image, things like that. I'm going to just check out this item, and I'm going to, because this is a ticket, Unlike memberships, you don't actually have to attach it to a customer. You can actually just have an anonymous or walk-in sale. So let's just do a walk-in sale. We're going to press complete. Now you're going to actually notice two things. So there's going to be two features, or three features actually. Number one, as you see, we've actually updated the design for our receipts. The receipts can now contain your logo. It can contain a lot more information. The font has changed. We've had feedbacks about the font being too small, so we improved the font and also the font type. In addition to that, we've actually added a barcode on the ticket for a feature that we'll be releasing in a couple of weeks, which is returning items. So you're able to easily load up this transaction again and be able to return the items that you want. So all the details of this is the same. Also, if you notice, we've actually had the ability now to open up the print tab automatically as soon as the transaction is completed. For those of you who do not want this to happen, please contact our support team. This is the settings that we can deactivate for you. You can actually deactivate it from the settings area as well on their billing and receipt options. So you're able to actually update the logo, update the settings all here. So as you see, there's an option now here called automatically print receipt. So if you do enable this, the system will open up the print tab automatically. Now the other feature that you see is this entire completion page, or the final page, or the thank you page for the transaction has been actually updated as well. As you see, it looks a lot cleaner, a lot neater. It has all the options very visible to you, such as printing the receipt if you want to do that again. If you want to email the receipt, as you see, the option has improved. Printing receipt will open up the print option again. You can print it using your regular printer or your receipt printer. We have an ability for you to go back to store if you want to make a quick sale again. Please note that there is an actual shortcut for this sale as well. It's Alt and N. So by pressing Alt and N, the system will take you back to the checkout screen again to record another transaction. But one thing that's different for this specific transaction, since this was a ticket, as you see now, there's another option called print ticket. This is unique to only products that you sell as tickets. So if I click this option, the system will provide me a template. Please note the templates are customizable, and it basically has the ability for it to provide you the overall a barcode. That's the most important part of it. The rest of it is actually template, which is an HTML template. You can create your own HTML template to fit your business needs. But it has an ability to have a barcode which can be scanned using the check-in app, and it will recognize how many times it's been scanned. So if you have a limit of 1 or 2 scans, upon reaching the limit, the system will not allow you to scan anymore. For those of you who are interested on the ticketing to learn more about it, do note there are ticket printers that you can purchase. Majority of times, for those of you who want to actually go design your own ticket template, you don't need the graphics to be on the ticket, because in a lot of companies, when you buy the ticket papers, you are able to pre-populate it on basically you can pre-populate the paper with your graphics and logos and all that. The only item that you need to print from the system is the barcode on the ticket. So depending on what type of paper you want to use and what type of printer you want to use, the template size and colors will obviously change. All right, so next step is, or the next item to cover, just a very small item again before we go into the new calendar and some of the functionalities that we release on the calendar. So in a variety of different sections of the system, as you're already aware, we have image fields. So these are image fields that you can image and upload a student picture, members picture, product picture, event picture. So it's used in every variety of different areas of the system. What we have done recently now, we've actually created the support for webcam. So you're able to actually click on this button and be able to actually get a live feed from your webcam and be able to take the picture right there and then. This is very, very useful in case you have you're taking student pictures to be able to place them on their ID cards. You're able to actually just have a webcam facing the student and right on your front desk taking the picture and uploading it to their file. All right. So so far, do you guys like the features that you've seen? Awesome. A lot of yeses, a lot of yeses, a lot of excitement. So great stuff. So let's move on to the next basically section where we're going to spend a little bit more time, and that is a new calendar. So there's a lot of functions now, enabled in the new calendar. I know some of you guys in the recent weeks have had access to this calendar, but this calendar is actually not new to us. We've actually been using it for a year for a group of clients that have been providing us feedbacks and improving the calendar. We really believe this is the best calendar we've ever done, and it's the best calendar in the industry because it does allow you a lot of functionality that you might not be ever up to date. So I'll do my best to be able to cover as much as possible and be able to show you all the tips and tricks of what you can do and utilize with this new calendar and some of the new functionality for the calendar that we just released last night. So as you guys, most of you guys are familiar, the calendar design has not changed. So on the left-hand side, you have all the different options of calendars that you have. With the new calendar, you are able to customize the look and design and also the options are available to you. So it can really fit your business needs, really, satisfy all the different types of appointments and meetings and courses and programs that you do offer, and also organizing them in a better way. So it's easier for yourself, for your staff, and also potentially for your customers to find the events and courses that they're looking for. So we have different types of calendars. We have what we call categories, and we have the calendars, and under each calendar we have different options which are services. So these are your offerings. So for example, in my example here in my database, I have martial arts. In martial arts we can offer camps, classes, exams, intros, and private lessons. And if you click on each one, it provides you different options, and the view for you on the right hand side changes. The view changes based on what information is more important for you to see and how you want to see it. For example, so depending on, if I'm booking introductory lessons or private lessons, it's important for me to see instructors who do conduct the intros and also see them side by side so I know who's available and what time. And usually I book my privates on a daily basis, so the day view is the best option to select. But if you want to see an option like classes, perhaps I don't want to see it by instructor, but I do want to see it in a weekly view. So it really depends to really what your needs are. We can certainly help you here at PerfectMind to come up with the best option for your business. And also, if you have things like camps, you perhaps want to actually see it more of the list view, so you can easily understand what camps are offered and what days of the week, what times, and what are the pricing ranges and the description of the camp. So we're going to go into details of some of these functions, but below this, then we have services, just to kind of continue on the path of how the design of the calendar works. The services are better filters from your overall calendar groups. So for example, when you have camps, perhaps you don't want to see all camps, you want to see only karate camps or summer camps. Or in terms of, let's say, yoga, we have a calendar called instructor training. Perhaps you want to have an option for the different types of instructor training that you offer, so you don't see everything at all times. This also becomes very handy for classes. So if you want to only see, let's say, self-defense classes versus karate classes and so on and so forth. So you are able to filter this. Now from services, we control a lot of things, and I want to get into too much details of it. There's tons of videos that we have in our help material, and we've done webinars about this in the past. But the services is where it controls the instructors, the facilities that these sessions are taught on, the default days or times or duration of these meetings, so it can help you with speed up the data entry, and also it manages the fees. So how much does this typically this event cost, and what are the different fee structures that you do have? So, if you click on the option, depending on how well you have organized your set, basically services, the system has an ability to actually default a lot of values for you. As I mentioned, you can filter from all your staff to only show staff who's teaching those services, and from all facilities to only show the facilities that are conducted for that service. And lastly, it can actually choose the duration as well for you. So in an example of duration, if I'm in a private lesson and I'm looking at Jiu-Jitsu, the system has an option to just show me the necessary options, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes, which each one actually has a fee associated to it. So the system automatically picks that. So we've talked about fees, and let's go into showing you the different types of fees that you have. So for example, in the booking, this is when you're creating a new event to start with, and you're able to now add multiple types of fees. This comes up very handy in a variety of different areas, such as having a general fee or maybe another fee for members, having maybe for exams. I know for those of you who are in the martial art industry, you have exams that have different fees depending on the level you're in. So such as the white belt actually is bound to pay a different fee versus a black belt. So all of these can be set up as different fee types, which now the system can give you as the admin the option to select the proper fee, or give the customer the option right online, so they can pick, or even in some situations, depending on how the fee has been set up and what type of fee it is, the system has an ability to just automatically pick the right fee and assign it to the event depending on the person that you're booking into the event. So that's very, very complex of providing you and simplifying your day-to-day actions. So now the next question would be, how do I add fee types? So it's very simple. You actually will have access to it under the setting window. Under the billing setting, now we have an option called fees. So here you have some options available to you. Most of you will start with just general option, but you can add more. You can click new to be able to just define a new fee type. So I can say, specific members, really name it of however you want to see it, however you want to differentiate this fee. So let's say member fee. And what you're able to do now, you're able to say what type of actually calendars this fee is applicable to. So is it applicable to appointments? Appointments are used for things like intros, private lessons, things that don't actually have, they're not predetermined. Someone calls and you just book them an appointment depending on the available times of your staff and facility. Single booking are kind of like classes, let's say in yoga, that people can go online and just book into one class of the entire series versus the entire series. So if a class is running for 6 months on every Monday, when you're booking someone, you're booking them only into one Monday at a time versus all the Mondays for 6 months. Courses is completely the opposite. So when you're actually booking someone, you would be booking them into every Monday for the next 6 months. And lastly, facility booking. Please note, not all of you guys will have access to this option. This is an ability and only accessible to right now our enterprise level clients. This will give you the ability to rent out your facilities, such as your floors, your meeting rooms, your courts, your pools, really anything. So it's very complex functionality behind it. So these are the different fees. You can determine and define if this fee is a drop-in fee or not. Please note, drop-in fees are technically only applicable for courses. They're designed for courses. And let me elaborate more on what is a drop-in fee. So let's say you have a summer camp. Your summer camp runs for 6 weeks on Mondays and Wednesdays of every week for duration of 6 weeks. And the entire value of this summer camp is $600. So if you would probably create that course, camp as a course within the course calendar, because you want to allow people when they go online, or even when your staff is booking them, they book them into the entire 6 weeks, entire duration of that course. Now, what a drop-in fee is is an ability for you to define a fee in case someone has an ability to just come to one day or one occurrence of that entire course. So let's say it's a 6-week course, they want to just come for one day. So what you're able to do, you're able to create a fee type called drop-in, check this box that called drop-in fee. And what the system does, if you have a course and you assign both a general fee and a drop-in fee, depending if you're booking them into entire series or the occurrence, the system picks the right fee for you. So if you're booking them into the series, it chooses a general fee value. If you book them into just the occurrence, it actually chooses the drop-in value. So, and we'll go over an example. I'll show you guys how that will work in just a second. In this case, because it's a member fee, we do not want to call it a drop-in. The other option is allowing discounts. So this is asking you if you would like to allow discounts to be racked on top of this fee. Now, this really depends on your business practice and what that fee is that you're creating. For some cases, when you're creating a very discounted rate, so this is a very special fee that's already very cheaper than the regular fees, you probably don't want to allow additional discounts like promo codes to be added on top of it. So that's just an option that you do have. Please note we have a very detailed documentation about all the fields that you see here in front of me. You have dates from and dates to, so maybe you have a fee that's only for Christmas, so it's only is applicable from what starting date to an end date. You could also have time from and time to, so maybe these fees are specific to times of the day. So this works more for facility bookings if you have prime times and non-prime times for your rental fees. H from and H2, this is if it's restriction, maybe you have a children fee and you have an adult fee, so you can actually create the different fee types, and based on the actual age of the person that's making the booking or you're adding them to the event, the system is able to determine what fee is eligible for them. You also have fees that are valid for different days. Maybe you have a drop-in fee, but on Fridays it's just cheaper, or on Sundays it's just cheaper. If you have resident fee, this is for more of the municipalities and the Parks and Rec departments who might be within the room. So this is an ability for you to define that this fee is only applicable to people that you consider as resident. And I can show you guys in a bit of how that's determined. Technically, PerfectMind can determine the status of the residency of a customer based on their city name, based on their zip code, based on one of those values, or you can manually apply that to a contact. And lastly, you can say that, hey, this member fee for me is I consider everyone a member and should get the member fee if they have any membership, any active or scheduled membership, or these specific memberships, which the system is able to show you all the memberships that you have, so you can simply add them one by one. So anyone with an active or scheduled memberships to these memberships, they will automatically be applied the member fee. That's really the logic behind it. Okay. So then after you do define that, when you're creating, let's say, a camp, you're able to actually, again, attach different type of fees. So let's just go to our member fee here, and I'm going to just add it to course calendars as well. That's why it actually didn't show up in that screen for me. Just going to cancel out, press edit again, and now I should have access to it. As you see, now the member fee is an option, and also we have a drop-in fee. So let's say we have a member fee and the system has an actual ability to just calculate it per session for you. So if you don't want to do that and just know the entire amount, you can type backwards, but the system is able to say, well, this event happens in 10 different occurrences, so it's $20 an occurrence. This value comes handy in some features that we're going to release very soon as well, such as withdrawing from courses and camps and things like that. And also you can have a drop-in fee. So if anyone comes, they can just pay $25 and attend the camp for that one day. So what now the system has an ability to do when you're actually registering someone, so let's say I want to book someone into it, the system says if you want to actually book them into a full series or just a selected date. So if you choose a selected date, the system will automatically choose a drop-in fee. If you choose a full roster, the system will choose one of the other two fees, either general member, depending on who the person is. So let's just as in the quick example, which was the only person that I actually had in this class already. The system now gives you the option, because this person doesn't have a membership, the system gives you the option to just choose from one of the fees. But if we have enough information on the contact, it would have automatically selected, and in parentheses, it would put not qualified in front of the fee that the person was not qualified for. Having said that, as a global admin, you always have also obviously the opportunity to overwrite that value. So you can even provide a fee that the person is not qualified to. All right, so a lot of actually details in regards to that. Now let's just move that to the next level of how we can actually even take fees to the next complex section, which we never offered before, and that is in a new option we call payment plan. So payment plan is very cool. You're able to define different payment plans that you're willing to offer. So what a payment plan is, it could be like monthly payments, so 2 monthly payments or 4 weekly payments. And for courses and programs that you have which are offered as a very high fee, so very expensive fees, you're able to provide the option to your staff or yourself, and even eventually online, for people to choose to go on a payment plan. So payment plans are first have to be defined in the system of what are the payment plans you're willing to offer. To do that, again, you go into the billing section and there's an option called payment plans. So here, as you see, I have added a few options already: 2 monthly payment plans, 4 monthly payments, 4 weekly payment plans. To be able to add a new one, it's very simple. You just name it. You choose a frequency: weekly, bi-weekly, daily. So you can say 5 daily payments, for example, and then you can say number of payments 5. So this is as simple as how we can create a payment plan. What that does enable you to do after so is to be able to just search the payment plan that you already have, define what you're willing to actually charge for the pay now, so the down payment, and the system will automatically schedule the rest of the payments based on your predefined values. So how this works, let's go into another example. Let's go into instructor trainings, and let's say we want to enroll someone into this instructor training. All right. So what the system does, it gives you the ability to, during when you're choosing the actual payment, you can choose to not provide attach any payment plan for it. So as a paid in full, just charge the entire value. Or because this is a very expensive actually program, you're able to actually just break it down into 4 monthly or weekly. And the system will actually take care of the rest for you. It will schedule the payments. And for those of you who are on our billing direct system, you'll actually get the system automatically charge them and deposit the money into your bank account via their credit card or EFT and ACH. So as you see that it brings you a lot of new opportunity for you to take this whole online booking or even the registration for your programs and courses and classes to the next level, because of all these functionality that it does, which in the past was very hard to actually accomplish, as you had to actually go through a lot of different steps. But we're not done. We wanted to actually even take things, again, continuously improving the calendar and taking things to the next level. So one other thing that we've introduced now is, we actually go to a proper program. Let's go to actually one of the summer camps that I've actually previously set up. So now we actually have an option when you go into the booking tab, then there's a new option called waitlist capacity. So that means we actually now support waitlists. For those of you who have very popular programs, you are able to now enable waitlists, which allows the system to, or allows people to register into the course up until reaching the maximum threshold, so the maximum capacity. And from there on, you're able to add additional people on the waitlist. So in case someone drops out from the course, you're able to easily add one more person to the course and replace them. So there are a few different fields that you have to take into consideration when you want to set up a wait list. You have to actually put the maximum capacity. So what is the maximum capacity of this entire course? So is it 3, 4, 10, 30, 50? How many people can actually come into this course? And from there on, you're able to then say how many people you want to allow to go on wait list after that. And if you don't want to allow it, just leave it empty. And if you also, we have a new field called minimum capacity. For those of you who are running camps and programs like that, it's important to actually set up minimum capacity. And that is really telling the system is how many people you require in the course in order for you to actually start the course. So if it's only one person or 2 people, you probably don't want to actually run the course because it's more expensive for you to run it. So you're able to actually set up this item, and what's going to happen when you actually enroll people, and if you're above the capacity. So as you see, my capacity is 4. I already have 4 people in the actual scheduled in this course. So any other person that I add, let's just find Lisa Lee. As you see, the system will say, well, the capacity is full. Do you want to add this individual? And you can say yes, and basically what it will do, it will add them to waitlist first. Upon cancellation of one of these contacts, so let's say Nima Johnson decides that they don't want to come to the course anymore. As you see, if I've canceled someone, one of the actual people is added to the first person, on the wait list is added automatically to the attendees. And you're able to now contact them, making sure that they do want to come. And if they do want to attend, you can just press confirm and complete the booking. So let's just go over that again. You're able to simply just cancel one of the persons from the course at any time in the course, and the system automatically moves off one of the people from the wait list to the attendee list. But as she has their status is pending for confirmation, and there's a confirm button. So as soon as you do get confirmation from them that the person wants to attend and is willing to actually come up, then you can press confirm to complete and add them to the list. Obviously, when they're added to the list, there's still payments that they would have to pay and the options that you can allow them to do. All right, we have actually quite a bit still ahead of us, so I'm gonna, I know there are some questions, but I'm gonna come back to it if time allows. If not, then we can just basically cover the questions online on our Facebook page. But let's just go out of this. So continuing on the path of improving on the calendars and improving the functionality of calendars, there's few other functions that we've introduced. Number 1 is an ability for you to clone an event. So this is if you already have a course and you want to just repeat that for quick data entry, or maybe perhaps you actually have the same class or course or program offered in a different season. You're able to simply clone it, change the dates, and be able to recreate with the same settings that you previously set up. So it saves you a lot of time when you're adding a lot of different courses. The other option is exclusion when you're creating a series of events. So let's say I am creating a class and you want to repeat it for weekly on certain days and for 20 occurrences. So as you see, the system automatically decides how many sessions that is. But what it does have now as an option, it has an ability for you to exclude certain days. So you can say, well, I know I've said, it's Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays every week for the next 20 days, but what I want to do, I want to exclude these certain days. So as you see on the calendar, we already highlight which days have already been created. So you can say, well, the Tuesday the 8th, I'm actually not in. I have a seminar that I'm attending, so I don't want to actually create a plan there. And as you see, as I'm adding more exclusion dates, the number of sessions are reduced. So it's very simple method for you to be able to better and create the events without really making any mistakes. Now, speaking about mistakes, the next item is that we have to better improve how you're actually adding programs in the system is what we call, basically conflicts. So a lot of times, and this is for small businesses, it's not a concept that's more common, but in a lot of times when you're actually creating a new program, new class, new event, you're not taking consideration of all availability of your staff, availability of the organization, making sure it's not in a holiday, or availability of the facility itself. So maybe the facility is being used to teach another class or another program. So what our system does now, if you do enter all the information in there, you enter your holidays, you enter days that your staff are off, you add your staff and attach them to all the classes and events they teach, and also attach your classes and events to the right facilities, the system is able to help you making all that determination. So let's say if I'm actually want to create another class for this day at the same time as this other event, and I use really the same criteria, such as same facility or same instructor. I'm just going to try to force this to happen since we don't actually have too much time. If I press save, as you see, if the system decides and finds out that there is a conflict, it will provide you this message. It will say there is a conflict, just a heads up. So what is it? Again, what a conflict could be, it's if the class you're creating is outside your organization hours. It's maybe the class you're creating or the program you're creating, it's offered on days that your basically business is closed, or it's using the instructor or facility on one or multiple days that it's teaching another program. When you're creating one-day course or one-day class, it's not as common that it's not often that this happens. It mostly happens when you're trying to book a camp for the next 6 weeks or 10 weeks, or a class for every Monday of every week for the rest of your life. So this is ability to show you the conflicts. So what you can do, you can say resolve conflicts. As you see on the, it highlights the areas for your instructor and the facility that the conflict is in. And you're able to click info, and the system will show you what is a conflict. So it says selected instructor is overlapped by hot teacher yoga level 2 training, or the facility or dependent facilities already being booked. So what you're able to do, you're able to simply change the instructor or the facility, or change the date or time, and be able to proceed anyways and be able to book and complete the booking. So you just change one day out of that entire course and be able to actually still book it without creating any conflicts or any other issues. So pretty neat. Okay, we're on the last 10 minutes. I want to cover now the BookMe application. So a lot of you guys are familiar with the BookMe. This is an application that we've had for a very long time. Now, in the recent months, we released a new version of BookMe. You're able to actually access the settings of BookMe by just going into settings and online BookMe. Please note it's marked as beta there, because it's still in the beta mode. It's fully functional, but we still have features that we are developing on this. Some of you guys have had access to this feature in the past few months, and you guys have been using it. Thank you very much for your feedback. Some of you have recently got access to this, but all of you in this room will now have access to this feature. So you're able to enable BookMe to actually promote your online bookings for different type of programs or classes or calendars that you have. So first of all, there's some general settings of what you want to display on the online booking. I recommend reading the help files for a more thorough look of what are all of these options are and how you can enable and disable them. It's typically very simple to do. We've now added a new section for those of you who have been using BookMe for a while, and that is for administrative booking notification. So this is technically you're able to actually set up emails to go out to the instructor, the assistant instructor, or just one general one to the organization whenever booking is done online. So you are able to enable that now. What you are able to do also is to create different widgets. The widgets can be used in different areas of your website or different campaigns. You can email widgets, you can embed widgets, you can do different things on it. And what widgets are a group of different calendars and programs that you have to offer. So when you actually go to create a new widget, the system will show you all the different calendars and the options that you have. So if we go back here, I can technically have a widget that's only for yoga and only for instructional training. The reason is because maybe I have a page on my website that's called instructor training, and I want people who click on that page only see the instructor training programs that I have to offer, versus you have another booking widget for maybe your martial art classes or your drop-in classes. So you can actually utilize this differently, or you can just have one for everything. So you can check the options that you want or not want. As I mentioned, you have an option to create a link for the widget or create an embed link. So it's just either embed code or just a full link. You have an option to customize each widget depending to their needs. So we have clients, for example, that want just the online calendar, so they don't want to enable online booking. So they just want the events to show up. So you can disable this button and just have the widget to display the options of events that you have. Or you can enable it and you can customize the button and what it says, or displaying the spots left or the price, or all of these options. So again, I recommend reading the help material to really understanding all the details behind it. And also for those of you who are very advanced, you can actually customize the CSS or really change the looks. So let's just go through a couple of quick things quick functions that have come up with the new BookMe. And then I actually have to cover one more detail with calendar that I forgot to cover. So as you see, this is the widget. So in case you actually have multiple options, the widget shows you all the options in one screen. This is a responsive design, so it actually will adjust based on the size of your monitor, size of your screen. As you see under martial arts, I've had the camps enabled, and under yoga, I had the instructor training programs. The areas that are grayed out, that means the calendar is there, but there are no events that right now are set to be visible for public. So you would have to go into your classes and make sure that there are one or a few classes that are enabled for public viewing. We have the search function, which is new. If you want to search a certain class with the class code, with the class name, they're able to actually do that right away from here. This is one of the new functionality we enabled. But let's say when we click on instructor training, what happens after that? So what the system does, it actually enables and shows you all the different options that you have. So you could also have a filter option on the left-hand side, depending on the settings that we have here on this page. So you can enable and disable that. But for this purpose of this session, we don't actually have any filters. What you're able to do at this point as a public or as a visitor to the site, you're able to choose the different program category you're interested in, and then the system will show you the options. So as you see, some of the options is waitlist. So our waitlist is also supported for online. So if the capacity has been reached and the waitlist has been enabled for that course, the system will just allow people to put their name down and not fully register for it up until a spot is made available. Let's now click on one of the events that we have some spots left on. So we go into what we call the registration page, or registration landing page, as you see here, and we can control all the options and what shows up here. That's all again in the widget setting that we just previously showed. But as you see, it has the name of the event, the date that it happens, the time, number of sessions left, the pricing. So if you had multiple pricing options, it would have shown all the pricings here. You have the optional extras. So extras is a feature we released last month. You can add more products and more memberships and add them as extras, either as required or optional extras. And you see all the 10 sessions that will happen for this instructional training, the image for it, the details, the instructor name. So if I had a proper instructor photo, it would have all showed up here. Any restrictions if you want to actually show that information. The next step, which is also a new feature, is a new sign-in page. So we've actually improved the UI for the sign-in page as well. We want to promote people to log in first. If they don't actually have a login, they can create a new account. So let's just create a new account. All right, and you can obviously add terms and conditions. This is a function we've had, so you can update this in your setting page. We can create an account now, and as you see, it takes us to the booking wizard. So firstly, it asks if you are booking for yourself or someone else. This is in case of families, so families are able to actually book for their family members as well. Actually, they can actually add their own family members. So if I'm the dad, I just joined your website, I can add all my children and my wife as well and book for them as well, all in one step. The next thing is the questionnaire. This is also not a new feature, but something that you kind of see better. You're able to set questions to be answered. So in this case, do you currently teach yoga? Yes. Where do you teach it? You know, Yoga Studio X. Then the next step is extras. So these are, essentially deciding if you want any additional items. So extras, I made it non-required. If they were required, they would automatically be selected. But here I can just add a locker rental, a towel rental, and maybe 2 yoga mats. So you can really customize your experience for your customers. Gives me a summary now. I can modify it or change people on it, or I can continue booking, meaning it can take me back to the book me for me to add another event to the same checkout screen that I have. And lastly, it goes to the payment screen where the customer can actually record their payment. So a lot of functions have been added here. As you see, a lot of good tools. This is a very proper online booking systems. It can satisfy really majority of different needs, no matter what type of industry you're in. So the opportunities are endless. One quick thing that I forgot to mention, since we're running out of time, I just want to quickly mention, is we've actually improved also our search for calendar as well. So what you're able to do if you can't find a certain event or you want to quicker way to find it, you can just search. What the search does, it actually shows you all the available options, and also it allows you to filter. So you only want to see Mondays or Wednesdays or courses that are good for youth and are offered in a certain studio. So it gives you a lot of options. This can be exported or in PDF or Excel. And also by clicking on these arrows, you can actually change the order of the columns or add new columns, or actually create a filter right here in then and then. So you can, if you want to see, let's say fees, you can simply add the fees as one of the columns. So you can make a better decision when you're with the customer. All right. I think I covered everything. I know there's 3 questions and we have 3 minutes, so I'll try to cover as much questions as possible. And if I couldn't, then please come see us at or message us on either on our Facebook page or contact our support team, and we'll be happy to help you out with your questions. So there's a question of how do you delete entries in the calendar? So I believe you mean a course or a calendar. So there's 2 options. Either A, you can click on this X button where it asks you if you want to delete the series or the occurrence, or you can edit the event and then you would have a delete button. So either way, you're able to do that. This is for Pamela. When I customize the staff at the top of the daily view, can it be saved so I don't have to change the view every time you I believe what you're referring to is the staff here. This is not to be actually saved. If you want to save this, you have to actually update the service. So in this case, if you have a Jiu-Jitsu private service, what you're able to do, if I go into the Jiu-Jitsu private service, you're able to define, let me find staff, all the staff that you wanted to show. So if you say which staff you want to show, you only should see those staff members on top. And you can add to it if you want to add a different person. How do I get the calendar to be a monthly format every time I log in? So John, this isn't an option per calendar. So this decision is not made as an organization, it's made per calendar. So if you want your class calendar to always be weekly, you go into this calendar settings, and here it says default view. You can change it to week, and then you can press save. So every time you come in, now it's in a week view. A couple of good jobs. I'm looking forward to the help section, learn more. Thank you, Nate. Thank you for attending. Ella has mentioned that she was trying to delete an event last night, but she couldn't. Ella, I would contact support team for it. Maybe it's your permissions, but overall, you should have the delete or X icon here, or click on edit series, edit full series, and have the delete option. So either one of those options should be enabled to you. If not, then maybe it's your permissions on your account. John Endres has mentioned that if you delete a course, is a past attendance for the course deleted also? Yes. I don't reckon deleting is not really something you want to do. You end a course. You don't just delete it simply from your calendar. So a course has a start and end date. So if you want something to no longer be offered, you end it. So you say the reoccurrence, you say end it on this date. If you delete it, attendance records are not deleted, but it doesn't reflect now any details and information which course that person attended to. It will just have an attendance record. We do produce an error to avoid this from happening, but do not create courses simply just for coming up with a new calendar. You would just end them and start a new calendar or new course. And deleting is only in case that you made a mistake. Pamela has asked, there's still no delete button. Pamela, what I would do, I would check the permissions here. So make sure you do actually have an all permission to all user full permission added here. In case you don't have it. Again, this is probably a permission issue. So if you contact our support team, they can better look into that for you. Bob Perk has asked if you can change the all activities view. So I think he means this. By the way, one thing I didn't mention is as I create categories, you can just filter to only see those options for better navigation. So he's mentioned if the all can become weak. No, this is the all view cannot be updated at this time. It would have to be something that you would change yourself. But it could be definitely a feedback that I can submit on your behalf. Can I add a fee to a membership like a registration fee? I don't really understand that. You technically have, Dave, this is a question from Dave. You can either have a registration product, or which is a non-inventory product, or you can have a down payment on your membership. So I hope that answers your question. Technically, the answer is yes. I just need to know more about it if you need more detailed assistance. Ella has asked, what does slashes mean in the calendar? I'm not sure if I understand what you are referring to. So maybe if you can add more details. David Martin has asked, how do I get a calendar, different studio rooms, different colors? So you would actually have to create different calendars for that if you want the studios to have different colors. We now color based on the calendar itself. Each calendar has a color associated to it, which you can define here, but it's on the calendar level. I don't recommend it to be actually divided like that for studios. I would contact your your success coach to discuss that a little bit more detailed. I don't think that would be the best ideal situation. However, I don't know your personal settings and your business, so you might have a proper logic behind it. We have a question, what if your private lessons are only 45 minutes long? Well, that's done again on service level, Yvonne. So for example, if you have Jiu-Jitsu private, if you only do 45 minutes long, when you actually define the fees, only have a 45 minutes. So your setting would be this. So it's $60 per 45 minutes. But if you want to also allow 45 minutes or 90 minutes, because two people can do it back to back, you would just have it this option. I hope this answers your question. And this generates options when you're creating a new private lesson. There's been an update on the slashes question. So the slashes that shows up on the circular arrows. Oh, I see. So you mean that means the series has been broken. So I think you mean this. So when there is an arrow, circular arrow, that means it's a series. So this event is repeated multiple times. Now, if you edit just one day, either by adding a person to just that one day, or changing the time or something like that, now it becomes broken from the series. So the system is trying to warn you that this one is different than every other one. In the calendar, when I go to the calendar settings under intro and would like people to receive an email reminder one day before, how can I customize a specific reminder message? The messages can be customized as a whole, not per event. So there is a customized reminder section here where you can customize a message and it'll be used for all events. So it's not specific to a certain event, it's just overall, all the reminders will go up. I'll just have, and the reminders are generic is really all you need. You can obviously have a custom workflow to do that as well, but it just has the name of the date, the event, the date, who is it with, and the location and the map to the location. So you don't really need to fully customize it. You can obviously go back to any of the event, click click the attendees and be able to send an email to all the attendees of that event. You can do that as well. Referring to, okay, we got that. David Martin has said, if you want to see, is there a way to quickly see an event that has been booked without going to each event? Well, you get an email, David. I think you're referring to online booking, which if that's the case, then it will send you an email as soon as the booking is done. You can create reports for that as well, actually. So it's really depends on your need. The report can be custom created as well. Ella has asked, can you customize the SMS reminder so if it leads with the studio name so the clients know immediately who is the text from? That's a good question. So the message on the SMS cannot be customized. As you know, the SMS comes from a generic number right now. It's like 5-6 digits, similar to a lot of the cell phone companies. We are actually working on improving that. So there's a new company that we're going to work with. It's probably going to come next year. That's going to allow you to actually come from your studio address. The setup process, though, is a little more complicated. But when that comes, we'll have an announcement, and I'll probably do a webinar like this to cover it. Amanda has mentioned that I have set the calendar settings as a course, but when I use a book me as a member or public online booking, it is only booking for one specific event. That's pretty odd. So let me just go through what you have to do and try to make sure you do these steps. So the booking type would have to be courses, and make sure your event is obviously an entire course. Now, also lastly, make sure that you're using the new BookMe. So the BookMe that I showed today, that's the one that you would have to use in order for the course bookings to happen. So if those things you're doing and it doesn't work, do contact support so we can have more time to actually go through your settings and make sure everything's correct. That's for Amanda. Joseph Vigil has asked, is there any plans to integrate calendar to Google or iCloud? Right now for customers, when they book online, it is. So they have an option to add that event that they just booked into their Google or iCloud calendar. However, in future, we are planning to sync the employee calendars to Google as well. This is not something in the immediate future, though. It'll probably be sometime in the second quarter of next year. All right, I think I've answered all the question. If you guys do have any questions, please feel free to contact us via the channels that you're already very familiar with, support channels via email, support@perfectmind.com. We have a chat for support as well, and we also have our Facebook pages. You can also contact our toll-free number, open 24 hours a day, and speak with our support team. On behalf of Perfect Mind, thank you guys again for attending, and we'll see you guys next time and enjoy the new features.